Why are most people looking for new jobs in January? According to LinkedIn, more job transitions happen between January and March than any other time of the year. And we wanted to know why. And with us this morning, a clinical psychologist and Fortune 500 consultant, Dr. Natalia Peart has received education and training from Brown University, Harvard Medical School, Johns Hopkins, and is a former consultant for the Gallup organization. She's also the author of the new book, Future Proofed: How to Navigate Disruptive Change, Find Calm in Chaos, and Success in Work and Life. That's in Scrivener Books, by the way, January of 2019. And she is with us this morning here on WSBA. That's quite an introduction. You probably have the best introduction ever, Natalia. Good morning.
Well, thank you. Good morning to you, Gary. I appreciate that wonderful introduction.
Well, and Happy New Year to you. And Doctor, may I call
Happy
you
New
Natalia
Year.
because you're actually Dr. Natalia Peart, and I don't want to.
Yes.
Okay, I don't want to be too overt there. But, why do so many people jump into the job market here in January? That's something that a lot of us haven't really thought a lot about.
Absolutely. So here's the thing about January. A lot of times what happens in our life is we look at these big markers and we look and we say, have we reached where we thought we would be at this time? So whether it's our birthday, whether it's the new year, or maybe it's a particular birthday, right? Whether it's the 30th birthday or the 40th birthday, there is something, or the 50th, there's something about these markers that we stand back and we say, when I graduated, I thought that by this point I would have accomplished this. And then there's also something about our culture that says in January we make these big resolutions, right? I'll never mind that by February, 80% of them are already, doomed. But then we come back again. New year, new you, new start, all of the commercials, the fitness, take charge. We look at our... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt your
sentence.
sentence.
We look at ourselves and we say, is there a big distance from where I thought I would be to where I am today? And that's where the pain point comes.
I read where you said somewhere, everyone should be in the job market right now. And you said the world of work has changed dramatically and you have to manage your career differently than you used to do so. Diversifying your job portfolio will help you to future-proof your career. Talk about that a little bit. That's fascinating.
Absolutely. So here's the first thing that I would say to everyone. Regardless of whether or not you work for yourself or someone else, right now, think differently. You are the boss of your own career. You should always see yourself, quote unquote, in the job market, meaning you are always open to new opportunities. You shouldn't wait until you decide, oh, I'm really unhappy, or I don't like my boss, or I don't like my coworkers. You need to always understand what's the big vision for my life so that you don't get to the, times like January to say, oh, now I've just noticed I'm really off track. You should always know what's my big vision. I suggest every 6 months, you're looking at this bigger vision and you're saying, okay, what steps have I now built in here? So I'm not thinking about just my next job. Switch your thinking to, I always have a career playbook, meaning I have many ways and many opportunities. So if one thing falls through, we're just in a much more volatile world, and that level of uncertainty, we can't put our entire life on one job. But you should know where you're trying to go. What are the many ways you can get there? What are the many ways that you can provide value in the job market? What is your unique advantage? Why do people need you? Should have a oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
go
I was
ahead.
once reminded of a statement that someone said, if you don't know where you're going, any road you take will get you there.
There you go.
So you're kind of wandering.
There you go.
But you just said something really important. In some of the fields that are really crowded, what is your unique advantage? How do you ascertain that? I guess that's different for every person,
Absolutely.
Right?
It's different for every person, and that's why you should know it. So in a crowded field, let's think about it this way. Maybe, perhaps, just a decent number here, 100 applications for every one job. You're not going to necessarily stand out just by telling people what you've done and your job titles. Because guess what? Job titles don't always mean the same thing across companies and, and industries. And lots of people have really good-looking, inflated titles.
Mm-hmm.
But what you should know about yourself is something very different. Go from being title-based to being value-based. So here's a perfect example. As you just said, I'm a clinical psychologist in my first career.
Right.
But I've also worked with Fortune 500. I've been a business consultant. I'm an executive coach and consultant. I've done many things. So guess what, Gary? My value is I'm a problem solver and I'm a change expert. Guess what? There's many ways for me to do that. I tell a more compelling story about the ways I help people, industries, businesses, teams solve problems, navigate change. It's a more compelling story, and it allows me to be more unique than just, okay, here's the job I've had, and here's the title I've had.
So you need to be a salesman for yourself. You really need to be able to sell yourself and sell what it is that you're doing, and make it sound, it's something different than anybody else, and don't get into all the psychobabble jargon. Say, here's what I do.
That's exactly right.
Now,
that's exactly right.
What if you're like me? What if you're happy with what you're doing right now? But I'm also going out and going beyond just what I do here every day. I've been doing this for 22 years, and I was a teacher before that for 25 years. But I'm really happy. I love what I do every day. I get out there. The one thing we know in radio, the one constant thing that we know, and we're talking with Dr. Natalia Peart this morning, is that change is the one thing that's always going to be true for us. And I guess at the end of this conversation, I'd ask you this. What do you say to be the boss of your career? What does that really mean? Our final thought here.
Absolutely. Being the boss of your career is ultimately about exactly what you said here. We have to now understand the one constant in life is change. You must take full control over your life, full control over your destiny, full control over your success, full control over your happiness. That's what being the boss of your own life means.
And maybe strengthen your weaknesses and make sure your strengths are constantly improving, but get those weaknesses up to strengths as well and be able to sell yourself. I think you made a great point there in the beginning. Where can people pick up this brand new book you have, Future-Proofed: How to Navigate Disruptive Change, Find Calm in Chaos, and Success in Work and Life? Where can they find that?
Absolutely. So please go to Amazon.com for Future-Proofed. And also, if you want more information, just go to GetFutureProofed.com.
Happy New Year to you.
And Happy New Year, Gary. You take care.